Hello, this is Gary. How are you? Well, I'm as blessed can be. Today, I want to speak to you about God takes a vacation. Now, listen to what the Bible says. The biblical answer to whether or not a Christian can take a vacation is rooted in the ideas of rest and stewardship. Vacations or holidays, as they are called in some parts of the world, are not mentioned in the Bible, but specific times of rest are discussed while as a stewardship of time and money. The Sabbath was intended to be a time of worship, rest, and fine restoration. We show a trust in God for his provision by not working. We rely upon him to re-energize our bodies, minds, and spirits. We worship him and we receive his refreshment in return. Now, vacation can be a means of experiencing this rest and this refreshment. Now, from the Old Testament, the idea of Sabbath, or taking one day a week to rest from labor, was established by God as he concluded his week of creation. He rested on the seventh day, taken from Genesis 22:3. Genesis 2, verses 2 through 3, and instructed his people to do the same, taken from Exodus 28 through 11. All right? We are created to have rhythms of work and rest. For example, we rest every day through sleep. I mean, it isn't that rest, whether daily, weekly, or annually, is our goal. When finding a balance of work and rest gives us a harmony, God's intentions. Psalm 90:12, and you could go to Ephesians 5:15 through 17. But from the New Testament, here's what I want to dissect. The meaning of the Sabbath has been fulfilled in Jesus, Colossians 2, verses 16 through 17, and Hebrews 3, verses 7 through 7 and 4 and 13. And it is no longer a requirement for us Christians. However, the principle remains important. Though in Jesus' day, the Sabbath has become a burden of strict, arbitrary, yet severe rules to follow. It was meant to be a gift to us. Mark 2:27. Now, Jesus often removed himself from the crowds and even from his disciples to rest and draw close to the Father. Luke 5:16. We are to see him as a model as he was perfect. He sometimes instructed and invited his disciples to join him in going away to rest. Mark 6:31. Jesus and his disciples did not always work. Instead, they sometimes took time away. We are also instructed to be wise stewards of our finances and time. It is not godly to pay for vacation by going into debt. The word you hear over and over and over again, which is very strong. Romans 13:8. Here are your implications for today. Taking a vacation is a valuable opportunity for rest, reflection, and intentional relationship building, when it's very important to submit your plans only to Jesus and approach it with a heart of gratitude and purpose, head on. Whether you're traveling far or enjoying a staycation, you want to always invite God into your vacation plans. asking Him to guide you towards rest and renewal. Use the time to connect with the Lord and seek ways to deepen your relationship with others through intentional conversations and activities. While resting and recharging, also considering, also you want to consider how to serve others or engage in purposeful growth during your time off. Disconnect from distractions, focusing on what truly matters. And remember to always give thanks for the gift of rest and the opportunity to reconnect with both God and those who love you. Through it all, ensure that your vacation is an extension of living out Colossians 3:17, glorifying God in every word and deed. When planning a time off of rest, we ought to strive to create affordable, restorative vacations for ourselves and for our families. Spending money on vacation is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The time to build on important relationships. In other words, be restored and rested and experience new venues is worth the financial investment. Now, do one thing for me. Ask God for wisdom when planning a vacation. James 1:5, and enjoy. Now, here are three things I want you to understand. The first thing you have to understand is God created them, then God created and then rested, and we are to follow His examples. Those are the things of what I'm saying about the subject itself. Another thing you have to understand about taking a vacation is God created humanity with the need to rest and gave us rhythms of rest. And the third thing for you to understand is when directing to take a vacation or deciding to take a vacation, we must look at our motivations and our stewardship. Here are three things I want you to reflect. The first thing I want you to reflect is, and please try to answer this question. How do you typically approach rest and vacation in your own life? That's the first question. The second part of that question is, how do you refresh spiritually, mentally, and physically? All right. Here's another question I want you to reflect. How can you ensure that your vacation honor God, and we are aligned with His purpose for rest and stewardship? And the third question here for you to reflect is, how do you balance taking time for rest while also considering your financial and time stewardships? Here are three things you have to engage. And the first engaging question is, how can we approach vacations, not just as a time to relax, but as an opportunity to grow spiritually and deepen our relationships with each other? All right. Another question you have to engage here is, in light of Jesus' example, what are some practical ways we can intentionally use our free time to connect with God, serve others? And the last question, how do we encourage one another in maintaining a healthy balance between work, rest, and spiritual renewal in our busy lives? Those are the three you have to engage for yourself. Well, you be blessed and have a safe night. Goodbye.